Hello again, Nate here with the Volunteer Tech Vlog on the Live Sound 101 YouTube channel, talking candidly about doing live sound as a volunteer in the church tech world and how adventurous it is. Yes, so I'm picturing making this video series for my own good, to go back and see a history of what we've been doing and what's worked, what hasn't worked, and also sharing that story with you. Anybody who wants to take a ride in my passenger seat here, come along for the journey. I'm imagining people just put this on in the background and kind of listen to it, folks that do live sound and stuff, and we can bounce ideas back and forth. You can share your comments, share articles, give me some advice, because I don't know everything, certainly don't know everything. I'm just trying to get better at what I do, and this vlog is helping me do that. But this will be a media report for June 5th, 2016. So we had I like to do dB-SPL levels, A-weighted, using this slow weighting system there, the slow response. So for rehearsal, we hit 90.1, 8 a.m. we hit 92.4, and for the 10:45, whoop, hang on a second, getting a phone call here. Sorry about that. Always got to pick up the phone when my wife calls there, so I'll have to splice these two clips together. But I was just saying, dB-SPL A-weighted with a slow response, we hit 90.1 during rehearsal, 92.4 during the 8 a.m. service, and during the 10:45 service, we only hit 91.2 dB. So it's interesting that during the second service, when there's more people, it's not always louder with more people, because, you know, sometimes people absorb sound more than they put out. Sometimes they don't sing as loud. So interesting there, I'm noticing. So then the next thing on my list here was Mike's microphone turned off or lost an RF link or something during communion, during the 8 a.m. service. I think what happened was, so the pastors all know how to flip the little button to turn their pack on or off, like if they have to run to the bathroom or something. They don't want to necessarily trust the person that's doing sound to hit the mute, so they'll just make sure it's muted by turning the system off there. And so I think that's what happened, was like instinctively Mike just flipped that switch. So during the last bit of communion there, during the 8 a.m. service, there's nothing really I could do besides run down there and interrupt him and you know, turn it on. Or it potentially could have been a bad battery, but then I verified it was not a bad battery. We've been using the Ansman rechargeables. This is the second week now we're using the Ansman 9 volts, and they work great so far with the Shure ULX body pack. So working good so far. So far so good. But that was a little glitch, a little hiccup. Not really a big deal, except for the recording and people sitting in overflow. Couldn't really hear. But during the 8 a.m. service, there was no overflow, so it wasn't a huge deal. Let's see, started using and creating summer 2016 mix files with each band, and putting the shortcuts on the desktop. So that was this is just like a new workflow. Rather than like keep the files buried somewhere in a folder, we're just going to put links to, I guess what we call starter files, or files that have tracks numbered and labeled and mix levels set at pretty good locations. So if somebody's coming in and, you know, they're under the gun and they're trying to do things, they can just pick a mix file with a certain ensemble or group of people that is close, and just make some fine-tune adjustments rather than create the whole mix file from scratch. So we're starting to explore workflows using software audio console, or SAC, we call it for short. Got those shortcuts up there enabled on the desktop. I didn't do sound check for this video. So we played a video. I didn't realize we were playing a video until like 2 minutes before the service. And Steve looked over at me and said, oh, we didn't do a sound check for the video. So I can't be in two places at once to like queue up the video and mix it in the house, and then also in fellowship in the overflow. So that was a little bit challenging. I like to do a sound check for the video just to set base levels ahead of time. We didn't do that, so the end result was it was quiet in the overflow, because I like to err on the conservative side. And so yeah, we didn't do sound check for that, and levels were a little bit on the soft side. Not the end of the world, but that's just how it happened. When you hear about things last minute, you're not prepared for them. That's the best you can do. And then the next thing, so as I drive, I'm done with my list. I got the recording going now. I'm gonna go for a little drive here on this rainy Sunday afternoon. Children's Sunday is coming up. Woohoo! So Children's Sunday is fun. It's great to get the kids up there doing a little song or sharing what they learned, or doing something. The challenge is getting really good sound for these things. It is a challenge because there's typically no rehearsal, or if there is rehearsal, it's just like a half hour before the thing starts, and I don't even think there's going to be that. So I think I'm gonna be putting out a couple wireless handheld microphones on stands, and people are gonna move them around as they see fit. Because the reality is, in an hour's space of time, we've got anywhere from 5 to 10 different events, theatrical performances, songs, skits, something happening with no rehearsal. So this is like really where your adrenaline gets pumping as a live sound person, because you want to have, a cue card, and you want to know like what's coming next and have notes, and it's just it's just not going to happen. So this is where you have to really think on your feet and kind of ride the faders and look at what's happening. So I'll probably hook up 2 wireless handhelds for flexibility that are on stands that can be moved around wherever, so I can capture those cute little, 2- and 3-year-old kids singing their cute little song, which is adorable. So I want to make sure I capture that. And so I'll have those 2 wireless, and then I'll probably have a whole bunch of wired mics hooked into the system, just kind of off to the side, that if somebody wants to, they can put them out there beforehand. This might be a really good day to have an assistant sound person with like a comm, which we typically don't do. Typically we've got one person on audio, one person on video, but this would be a really good case to have an assistant with like in-ear comm system where we can talk back and forth and say, okay, go here, use this mic. All right, let's prop this up in front of the kids choir that we didn't know was going to be doing anything, and now we know what they're going to be doing, so just here, throw this there. That might be a good idea to do, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Obviously, in a perfect world, we'd like to do a rehearsal, but that's just not going to happen. So it is what it is. We do the best we can, right? That's the whole mantra here. So we will see how that goes. I already know that one of the groups is going to be singing along to a YouTube video, so I'm going to try to grab that YouTube video and get the MP3 of it, because they don't actually want to have the video, they just want the music. So I'll have to see about the and then copyrights. I didn't even think about that for this. Copyright's a whole nother thing, so I got to look into that, what we can purchase. Ooh. All right. I think that'll do it for this video, for this live sound report, media report for June 5th, 2016. Lastly, this is more on the personal side of things, but this is life. It comes at you. We rent right now. We're in a duplex renting, and we heard from our landlord yesterday that he's going to be selling our place. So we don't know if he's going to sell it to somebody who wants to move into it, or sell it to somebody who wants to keep us as renters, or he's going to sell it to somebody who's going to up our rent, or what the deal is. So right now there's just kind of this big cloud of uncertainty as to where we're going to be living in the immediate future, which, I'm not overly worried about it. It's not the end of the world. You find somewhere else. But you get used to the town. Your kid starts going to preschool, and they you get used to the school system, and get used to your commute, and you being close to friends and family, and then all of a sudden this happens, and all of a sudden your whole world can drastically change. It's just a hassle to pack up all your stuff. Well, getting another phone call now. So I'm gonna go now. See you in the next video.